one of the things that's happened to us, is happening to us, is the political has collapsed into the religious. There's a domain that's sacred and there's a domain that's profane. And that's true psychologically. And if you don't keep those separate, then the sacred contaminates the profane. Or alternatively, the profane gets inflated into the sacred. And that's a catastrophe, because then everything becomes emotionally overwrought, because you're no longer a political enemy, you're an emissary of Satan. If the profane becomes inflated with the sacred, then you demonize your enemies. And then maybe you sacralize yourself as well, and that's not so good. You're an environmentalist. It's like, well, are you sure you're not the Messiah? Are you sure that's not what you're doing? You're the savior of the planet. It's like, are you sure that's so good for your ego? And it's not. It's not. The earth has to orbit the sun in Jung's terminology, or if it falls into the sun, it's a catastrophe. And all sorts of discussions we're having are becoming inflated with religious concerns. This has nothing to do with arguments about, do I believe in God, or does God exist? It's like, that's not the point of this. That's not the point. That's not the issue here. The issue is we have a religious instinct. And then the question is why? And then the question is, well, what happens when it's not nourished? Where does it go? What does it do? Well, the rationalist idea is, well, if we get rid of all that superstitious claptrap, we'll just be like straight rationalist materialists and the world will move in a positive direction. It's like, no, wrong, too simple. That isn't, where do we get our values? And that's the conversation I'm trying to have with people. That's a big part of it is, look, science does not provide values. We need values, or nihilism, or reigns. And you want that? No. So where do we get our values? And if there are values, are some values higher than others? And if so, what are the highest values? And what are they opposed to? And how do we embody them? These aren't conversations for children. This is serious stuff, and it's underneath all this noise and terror that we see playing out so destructively. So you see what that does to your soul. You're on Twitter. You get tangled up in these political arguments. It just hurts you. It's not good for you. And so I'm trying to figure out what's going on underneath that and what we need to do about it.